Hi, everyone. Happy Thursday, and thanks for jumping on the call with us today. This is our weekly Nourish call, and we host this community conversation every week. It's great to see your beautiful faces and always to hear your voices, share wins, hear about your story real time about what's happening for you in your own life, your personal growth, your development, and your own relationship with self and that nourishment that comes from truly caring for the body for me from the inside out, and then how that really just reshapes our world. So today, our topic is rewriting the story. I love this because I have been actively engaged with this community that's around the world, anchored in regenerative agriculture and education and planetary stewardship. But what I've also done for myself is I have committed to a daily practice of self-care and in many different modalities. But what we wanted to focus on today is really that self-care through the nourishment of the food that I'm taking into my body. For me, everything is energy, everything is a transfer, and everything is either a deposit or a withdrawal. And so, what has happened for me with consistency over the last 3 years of building this conversation with my body through superfood nutrition and more awareness, more education, the what's happened is I've started to break through new grounds for myself, release some old limiting belief systems that maybe weren't even mine to pick up and carry for some period of time, and become more present in my day-to-day life, perform at a higher level, find the balance that I was in search of. We all use different language to talk about what we seek, but what I seek and what I'm most attracted to is that peace that really comes from something that is unshakable, built on a foundation that really cannot be taken or erased by anyone or anything when we have put that work in for ourselves, and then we can transmit that out to our families. So I just wanted to kick off the conversation with rewriting the story of our own health, because there are the genetics that we are born with, passed down, and then there's this beautiful topic of epigenetics, where we can literally lay genes on top of the ones we were given through lifestyle choices. For me, I've experienced that in many different ways, but I'd love to hear from you guys, because you are these wonderful voices, and it's so exciting to hear different people's stories. And so how you relate to this topic, or if you want to check in on a real-time win or anything that's current for you in your own superfood journey, or learning more about your own wellness, food, that empowerment, I just want to open up the floor to this wonderful community of people. So whoever would like to jump on for a quick share, and I'll also add in a little flavor around whatever your shares resonate with for me. Thanks.
Well, I'll go ahead and share. I just recently um, crossed a milestone where now I am now older than my mother was when she left this earth. And I remember thinking at the time, I was in my 30s, wow, she was so young. And yet now that I am that age, 66, it really drives home to me how young that really was. And she didn't have available to her these superfoods and this lifestyle that we are blessed with. And so, although when that anniversary day, crossed the calendar recently, it kind of did a little bit of a number on my head. I am feeling healthy and energetic and vital, and plan to be healthy, energetic, and vital for years to come, because I am taking care of my body in a way that she did not. She was of the generation where, when Swanson invented TV dinners that were so convenient, they jumped on that bandwagon and they embraced all that highly processed food because of the convenience of it. And we now know better. And so we do better.
I love that, Colleen. Thank you. Oh, kicking us off with such a beautiful share. So there's few elements you're touching on. First of all, that mother-daughter relationship. Like I can relate to you. I lost my mother when she was 19. Lifestyle choices, right? Well, I'm sorry, when I was 19, she was in her 40s. I come from a family where there was a lot of addiction and unhealthy emotional patterns, and food wasn't even a topic because there were some elements way beneath that we couldn't even get to the surface of food. So I love to see people rewrite the story, or we learn for everything's a model and we see kind of what works, what doesn't, and like who do I want to be? There is the power of choice comes back into all of this. So I love how you speak to honoring your mother and her life, and then also the choices you are making for you. And then it's so funny how the learning changes with time, right? The wisdom comes in and we can really appreciate, like, in my 20s, I just ran hard and fast. I thought I was impervious and invincible. And now in my 40s, life feels very different. I have such an appreciation for a different pacing. And the small little things that make up my day. I love how you also talked about convenience. So this is, the modern world calls for a lot of convenience so we can scale and do all these things, right? I think there's a lot of overload going on, a lot on our plate, higher expectations. The standards just everything keeps ranking up. And convenience is needed at times, but I love what we're doing here with these foods is we can bring the convenience in, but we can also
Absolutely.
keep the integrity, right? And I've heard you on this call before share about you're here to because you don't want to experience cellular decline. I was like,
Yes.
whoa, that lady is paying attention to some stuff. I love that. So I hear people share about that, and no one was having conversations with me like that. So I love to hear other women empowering themselves through their lifestyle choices. And then one more element I wanted to touch on because it's so beautiful. You talked about the age of the microwavable dinner, right? When that really came into fads. And I know that one of our founders of Purium, which pure and premium creates that word Purium, he actually created this line of foods because he lost his aunt, who was his caregiver when he was a young child. So the mission and the passion stems from a place that's very heart-centered. It's, of course, we want to make beautiful foods and provide education to people, but it all comes back to the story. Like what makes a mother able to lift the car off her child? It's that heart. It's that spirit that goes beyond when the mind and the body is saying everything that you can't do this, and there's something that comes from beyond. So I loved hearing those parts of your story. Thank you for that share. And go ahead, anybody else who wants to jump in?
Well, good evening to everyone. I love that, Colleen. I love what you were saying. That's beautiful. It really, really is. Um, well, I need some help. Okay, I love Purium. I love what it's doing for me. And I just wanted to know what you guys do in terms of sweets. Okay, and I know that the product has lowered um, my cravings, so to speak, for them. But then when I actually eat a sweet, a real sweet, you know what I mean? A lot of times I just want more of it. So I just want to, I need some help in terms of that. Because most of the time, what I do is I do real well with just staying away from it totally. But then when I actually indulge, that's when how do I say, overindulge in it. And so that's why it's easy for me not to eat them at all. But occasionally I'll say, well, no, I deserve it, and then I'll do it, but then I overindulge. So I would just like some suggestions on what you guys may do to, maybe you all don't even have that issue where you want sweets. I just, I just know every now and then I want something really sweet.
I love it. Karen, great share. I love a woman who leads out with, I need some help. Yes, yes, please come with the truth. Because, girl, I need help all the time. I'll take all the help I can get. Good help. It's nice when the bar raises. I'm like, well, I'm not just going to take anybody's help. I need some real help. But no, it's please always come 100%, come real to this call. Yes, I can. I love to hear other people chime in too. But first of all, I'm talking to you coming off of or in this is my 13th year in sobriety. So that means I am abstinent of drugs and alcohol. We are talking about superfoods and nutrition, but let's be real. The modern world is putting tons of drugs in our food. I'll use the
Mm.
wording of drugs, or we could say chemicals, right? And so I have a huge love for this topic, Karen. So the idea of I don't think there's really anything wrong here. The sweets, wherever you're getting them from, are doing what they are designed to do, which is more and more and more to incite the urge of craving, because then whoever made those sweets makes more money. It's
Mhm.
sad that we have a large system that there's a lot of things operating off of that system, but I do believe in a larger world order, which is nature. And so, and it's hard to get access to that. But once we have a taste of the good life, we start to retrain the body, the mind, the reward system, the nervous system. And so, what I used to look at destructive living behavior patterns as a reward system, it starts to change with time. Time just takes some time, right? And if you might be someone in your family lineage that maybe is breaking the cycle within the food, right? Because a lot of different cultures, they just base their living around how we relate to food. So if this is a new idea, I think we all just give ourselves grace with this. Time takes some time, but also what I've started to do with all of my wording and where I'm placing my value and my reward system and knowing my worth. It's like, it's not, and I like to be bad still, right? The idea is that perfection doesn't exist. No one's going to be saints or holier than thou. It's let's be real. And then our capacity changes with time. And so, yeah, sometimes it's fun to be a little bad, but everything cause and effect, right? Everything has a price to it. I get little food hangovers when I cheat. It's not even a cheat. When I do something outside of my coding, right? And I've been consistent for 3 years on this, and I already was on a path to wellness, but I think when you know what you want, anything that is not in the direction of what you want starts to become this distraction. And that inner voice will say, hey, come back to this. So I think it's changing our phrasing around the words that we use around our actions in relationship to food or other things. But I've also learned that when we are craving sweets, it can be a nutrient deficiency. When we're craving salty, it could be a mineral deficiency. So I think there are some interesting things to look at on a deeper level, maybe the more sciencey side of things, but on a day-to-day living thing for me, I don't put it in the mouth because I know I'm going to want some more often. That just seems to work with booze and drugs. I don't do that anymore. So abstinence is a nice helping hand in that, but it's also in retraining the rewards patterns of where I used to reward myself with a drink or something that would derail my progress. Now the reward system is I sit down, I give myself a pedicure because that is really sacred time to tend to my body, which is my temple. And it's going to go with me wherever I go. And all my actions, hey, Panda, thanks for jumping on. That I get it. Okay. And so everything, our choices, everything shows. You can't really ever hide the truth, right? So it's going to show in our skin. It's going to show in our emotional balance. It's going to show in how much energy we have the next morning, all those things. So hopefully that's helpful just to put your mind at ease a little bit around perfection doesn't exist. No one needs it perfect. But what's cool is alignment. If I say I want this, They got to act as such. And every time I get out of alignment, it's a great little barometer of, oh, okay, I need a little extra support here. And usually what something's underneath the choice, what I've often found. That's what I love about regenerative health. Like it's always talking about what is the root cause, and roots run deep. And it takes a lot of digging to get there, right? For us to really discover and uncover and discard what is not serving us. So yeah, if anybody else wants to jump in on that, share to round that out. Yeah, go for
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, hey Karen, I think you saw my comment in the chat, but yeah, just possibly doing another parasite cleanse too as well, because sometimes when we have those sugar cravings, that can be a sign that there might be some, parasitic growth. And as we continue to like detox, we uncover new layers of things. So that's why I personally do a parasite cleanse almost every season, if not definitely 3 times a year, because we are uncovering things like the healing process is like a process of peeling an onion. And so we're peeling off one layer at a time, and you might be at the layer where it's really dealing with the sweet craving, right? And so I would also encourage just kind of that conversation we were having last week about when you're about to take a bite of food, asking yourself, like, if this food could talk, what would it say to me? What is it doing to my body? And when you can change that conversation with yourself and feel really good about the choice versus like, ooh, I'm not doing that because I feel like I shouldn't, or I'm not eating, like instead of that conversation, it's this new conversation of empowerment of like, you know what? I don't really know that that sweet treat is gonna serve me. Like I just want to feel like everyone else, or I want to feel comfortable. Okay, so I have a bite instead of three, right? And so we just decide a way that feels really good and empowering versus like we're depriving anything. And I love what Colleen said in the chat. I've learned to just really substitute with different things. Like I still eat dark chocolate. I definitely, when I'm feeling like I want sweets, I definitely go for more of the sweet fruits because those have a lot of vitamins in them. And a lot of times that satiates what I thought was, a processed food sweet fix that I wanted. So those would be my tips.
Thanks for chiming in, Mary Beth. Yeah, I'll say one last thing. And the reality is where we hang out, who we're hanging out around, the environment, that's all going to affect what we're choosing. So if you're in a circle full of people going to town on some hardcore sweets, the little voice in your head is going to be like, come on, just do what, it's easy to go with. So it's with any type of lifestyle, we make a choice where we're going to put our body, which is our life force and our time and our energy. And if it's really a good pairing for what we're aiming for. And so some places I can only go for a little bit, hang out, and then I know I need to go back where it feels really like that space I want to be cultivating more of. So great question. Give us one more share. I see you, you beautiful man, Chad Stevens. Come on. Guns N' Roses on the shirt. Let us see it.
Hey everyone, my name's Chad. Yeah, the topic's great, and the question about the sweets is great. Which I have a very personal history with that. Like I am a sweets guy, and I have learned a few of the things that have already been mentioned. When I get the craving, berries is my number one go to. They're so full of sugar. And the reality is the body, your cells want sugar. It's where you get energy from. And if you don't put it in certain ways, your body will break down other things into sugar to get its energy. But what sugar are you putting in? So, we do berries, apples, pears, all kinds of fruit, watermelon. There's always fruit going on in the house. And that often will cure that craving. Then if I do, first of all, and then the other thing is I never drank my sugars, and never like sodas and things like that. That's been gone for a long time. But what type of sugar am I putting in? Do you know what I mean? Like, so I'll do things like so I make a banana bread, a zucchini bread, but that's sweetened with honey and fresh milk flour and organic coconut oil and all this stuff and all these good ingredients that are healthy. And so when I want a sweet snack, a good slice of zucchini bread, that's good and sweet with this natural organic honey, it's really good, and it does the trick. And then if I it's just what type of sugar am I putting in my body? If it's processed, refined sugars, I don't really want it because I don't even like, I can taste it now. Like, I don't even like the taste of it anymore. Like Butterfingers or the things like that I used to really love. I still have a bad thing for taffy, so saltwater taffy. Oh my god! But what type of sugar am I putting in my body? You know what I mean? Is it going to be something that benefits me? Where we talked about the beginning, the withdrawals and deposits. Is it gonna withdraw from me more than I'm depositing in? You know what I mean? So, and then the other thing is, okay, so say you do break down and you go have some sweets, then what are you doing right after that? Because if you just put the sugar in your body, a good 20-minute walk or jog is great because it's going to burn that sugar that you just put into your body. Therefore, it can't sit in your body and deteriorate your veins and go into your arteries because that's what it does. If it gets clogged up in your veins and your A1C1 jumps up, it starts deteriorating that stuff because it's not good to stay in your body. So burn it off. Go for a walk, do something active afterwards. Those are all the tricks that I use. Because yeah, I still love sweets. I used to wake up at 2 a.m. and make waffles and then go right back to sleep. I don't do that anymore, but I do make I'll make like glazed donuts with this fresh milk flour and they're sweetened with honey and the glaze is reduced maple syrup, pure maple syrup, and they're awesome. And it doesn't make me feel bad afterwards. Like I actually feel good afterwards, and it's a new thing. So anyway, that's my take on it. Great question. Thank you for bringing that up. And I think I saw Mary Beth's asked for the recipe. I'll get it to you.
Yeah, you got to let us know where you live, Karen, because when we travel through, we're bringing you some donuts, some Chad donuts.
Florida.
That's where
Florida.
I'm from. Okay. We're going to hit you up. No joke. These are the best donuts I've ever
Wow.
had in your life. You can literally smash like 7 of them in your face and then go out for a hike with the family. It's so much fun. Oh, yes.
Oh.
He said the donut. So it's like, love the donut, worship the donut because the donut's fun. Let's just make a clean version of the donut. Clean donut. Yeah. Dirty donut gonna bring you down. Clean donut, you going up. You're gonna make some clean
I
donut
love it.
holes. All the things. Yes.
Adorable.
So
Adorable.
thank you. So what a wonderful topic, but the idea is to be real with where we're at. That is the definition of humility. It's not be smaller, it's as you are. So come to the table as you are. And we all have an immeasurable wealth inside of us. So we are worthy of that life we want, we dream of, that we want to work for. And everything in life takes effort. It's just where do we want to place the effort and who do you want to do it with? So thank you so much for being here today. We're going to go run out the pool until it closes tonight because it is hot out here and we're going to be sweating out some sugar. Thank you so much for joining us. Love you all.
You're not in Tallahassee right now, are you? You're not in Tallahassee. Okay.
Right
I was
outside
going
of
to say,
Chicago.
hey,
So
come
we're
on
in
down.
like 95 degrees or something. And
Ooh,
we're going to be that
God
family
bless
who
you.
goes to the pool 2 hours before it closes.
All right. Enjoy.
Yes. Thank you all. Thanks for the conversation.
Thank
I
you,
appreciate it.
guys. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you, Allison, Chad, Mary Beth, Colleen, and
Guys.
Coach